The storm outside had grown louder, like a beast pounding on the windows. Rain slashed against the glass. Thunder rumbled through the walls, and every flash of lightning carved the room in cold, trembling light. Emily stood by the window, clutching the flashlight to her chest. Her hands were shaking so violently she could hear the plastic creak. "It's not real. It's not real." But her reflection, pale, wide-eyed, didn't look convinced. Behind her, the old house moaned again, a slow, dragging sound from upstairs. Footsteps, wet, deliberate, heavy. "Please, stop." She turned toward the staircase, but there was nothing, just darkness. The air was thick, colder now. It felt like something was breathing just behind her neck. Then she heard it, a whisper, soft and broken. "It's inside." Emily froze. Her flashlight flickered once, twice, and went out. The house plunged into black. She could hear only the wind and her heartbeat hammering in her ears. Then, from somewhere above her, a door creaked open. Emily raised the light again, a weak beam now, pointing up the stairs. Each step seemed to stretch longer than the last. The air was buzzing with silence. At the top of the stairs, the hallway was empty. But muddy footprints led from the landing straight into her bedroom. Footprints she hadn't made. Her lips trembled as she stepped closer. The floorboards wailed beneath her weight, crying out into the stillness. She pushed the door open with one shaking hand. The flashlight beam swept across the room. The bed, the dresser, the cracked mirror. Nothing. Then the light stopped. On the wall beside her bed were scratches. Deep, uneven, furious scratches forming something like letters. She leaned closer. They spelled, "I see you." Her throat went dry. She staggered back, colliding with the dresser. A small mirror fell and shattered on the floor. "It's watching me." She turned toward the corner and saw a figure standing there, still, tall, unmoving. Lightning flashed and it vanished. She screamed, stumbling out of the room, crashing down the stairs, the flashlight bouncing out of her hand. Darkness swallowed everything. "Please, just stop." She crawled toward the front door, pulling herself up by the doorknob. But when she turned it, it wouldn't move. Locked. No matter how hard she pulled, it stayed shut, like the wood itself had come alive. Behind her, she heard the creak again. Slow, deliberate steps descending the stairs. Not rushing, not hiding, coming for her. She didn't look back. She couldn't. Instead, she bolted toward the back of the house, through the kitchen, over broken tiles and wet footprints. Every light she passed flickered and died. When she reached the back door, it too was locked. Her trembling hands found the window latch. She pushed, it didn't budge. The glass was cold as ice. And then, in the reflection of that glass, she saw him. A shadow, standing behind her. close enough to touch, head tilted, like studying her. It's me. She turned. Nothing. Only the chair by the table, slowly rocking back and forth. Her eyes darted across the room, drawers opening slightly on their own, the curtain swaying though the windows were sealed. She could feel it moving, not in one place, everywhere. The air pulsed like a heartbeat. I need to get out. She grabbed a kitchen knife from the counter, clutching it so hard her knuckles turned white. From the hallway, faint whispering rose again. Dozens of voices, all overlapping, whispering her name. Emily. 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 Her legs buckled. The knife slipped from her hand, clattering to the floor. She covered her ears, screaming, "Stop! Please stop!" The whispers faded, and for a moment, there was silence. Then a knock. Slow, deliberate, on the window beside her. She turned her head slowly, too afraid to breathe. Outside, through the rain-streaked glass, a face, pale, eyes wide open, smiling, but not human. The smile was too long, the eyes too black. And then it blinked, not vertically, but sideways. It's inside. The window shattered. Glass exploded inward as wind and rain flooded the kitchen. She stumbled back, falling hard, cutting her palm on the shards. Something stepped through the window, slow, dragging. Its shape twisted in the lightning flashes, too tall, too thin, its limbs bending wrong. Each step echoed like bones snapping. Emily crawled toward the living room, gasping for air. Her flashlight lay on the floor. She snatched it up and pointed it behind her. The beam caught the thing halfway through the window. Its face was blank, skin stretched tight over bone, mouth opening wider and wider until it split. "Let me in." The light flickered. When it came back, the thing was gone. She looked around wildly. Only the sound of rain and her heartbeat remained, until the whisper came again. But this time, it wasn't behind her. It was right next to her ear. "It's me!" She screamed. The flashlight burst, plunging her into black. And in that blackness, something cold wrapped around her wrist. She kicked, struggled, screamed again, but her voice barely rose above the storm. Then the cold touch was gone. She lay still, panting, trembling. The silence returned, heavier than before. Maybe it's over. Maybe she was losing her mind. She stood slowly, her breathing ragged, eyes darting across the shadows. And then, the old grandfather clock chimed. Once, twice, 3 times. The sound rolled through the house like thunder. And from upstairs came a whispering chorus, every door creaking open, one by one. Emily, Emily, Emily. She turned toward the stairs, knife back in her shaking hand. The house was calling her now, and she was too afraid not to answer. Each step she climbed, felt heavier, slower, more suffocating. The wall seemed to close in, and as she reached the top, the last candle in the hall went out. Darkness. Total. Complete. Then, a voice. Not hers. Not human. Whispered. It's in.
Emily stood at the top of the staircase, surrounded by blackness so thick it felt alive. The house wasn't just silent anymore. It was listening. The air vibrated with a low hum, like something breathing beneath the floorboards. She tightened her grip on the knife, though deep down, she knew a blade meant nothing here. It's not real. It's not real. But the whisper that answered wasn't hers. It's me. The hallway stretched unnaturally, longer than it should have been. Doors she had never seen before creaked open one by one, their darkness swallowing the light. From the far end, something moved. Slow. Bending. Crawling on the ceiling. The sound was unbearable. The scraping of bone against wood, a wet dragging noise like skin being peeled. Her heart pounded as she took a step back, but the floor behind her groaned, and the door she had left open slammed shut. He's inside. Lightning flashed, just for an instant, and she saw it. The thing that had haunted her nights. Its body was thin, stretched too far as if someone had sculpted a human shape out of shadows and broken bones. Its mouth gaped wide, teeth like shattered glass, its eyes bottomless pits that swallowed the light. And it was smiling. Emily. Her knees buckled. The knife clattered against the floor. She stumbled back, hitting the wall, but the hallway shifted. The walls seemed to breathe. Every door opened wider. Shadows leaked out, slithering across the floor like smoke. The creature crawled closer, its limbs cracking and twisting with every movement, its head tilted, like it was listening to her heartbeat. I hear you. Emily's breathing grew shallow. Her throat tightened. She turned, desperate, trying the door behind her. Locked. She pounded on it. Let me out! But the house groaned back, like it was laughing. Suddenly, all the lights in the house flickered on. For a moment, she saw everything. The hall, the creature, the walls covered in strange black handprints, as if something had been pressing from the inside out. Then the lights went out again. The whisper came, low and close. It's me. Something cold brushed her neck. She screamed and swung blindly into the darkness. The knife struck nothing but air. She ran down the hallway, feet slamming the floorboards, every step echoing like a heartbeat. Doors slammed shut behind her, one after another. Bang, bang, bang. The creature moved about her now, crawling on the ceiling like a spider. She could hear its breath, hot and rotten. He's inside. He's inside. She turned the corner, burst into the attic door at the end of the hall. It opened with a groan. She climbed the ladder, pulling it up behind her. The attic was cold. Not the kind that bites the skin, the kind that sinks into your bones. Cobwebs hung from the beams like veins. A single broken window let in a thin sliver of moonlight. Emily backed into a corner, clutching the knife to her chest. It's not real. It's not real. Then, silence. The creature had stopped moving. The entire house held its breath. Then she heard it. A soft creak on the attic ladder. One step. Another. The ladder moved on its own, and the whisper rose like a sigh slipping through the darkness. "Emily, I've always been here." The shadow climbed through the attic opening, slow, graceful, wrong. Its head emerged first, upside down, jaw splitting wider than any human mouth could. She screamed and stumbled backward. It didn't rush her. It didn't need to. It just watched. Its head twisted, bones cracking. It stood fully upright now, taller than the beams of the attic. "Let me in." The air went cold. Her breath came out in visible white clouds. The moonlight dimmed, like even the night outside wanted nothing to do with what was happening inside. Emily dropped the knife. It didn't matter anymore. She turned toward the window, desperate to escape. She climbed onto the old cable, pushing at the glass with both hands, but the glass wouldn't break. It was like pressing against stone. Behind her, the creature moved closer. The floor creaked beneath its weight. Its breathing filled the attic like a storm. "It's me." She turned, and it was inches away. Its mouth opened. The whisper became a scream, not human, not animal, something that didn't belong in this world. The walls cracked, the floorboards split. The air itself felt like it was being pulled apart. The creature lunged. But instead of pain, there was nothing. No sound. No scream. Just silence. And in that silence, she heard her own voice whisper, "He's inside." Then, everything went black. The next morning, the house stood quiet. The storm had passed. The front door was unlocked. Police found no signs of forced entry, no footprints in the mud, only a kitchen knife and muddy handprints leading upstairs. Emily was gone, but the attic window was open. Neighbors say they sometimes hear whispers at night. Lights flicker at 2:13 a.m. A shadow stands at the window, waiting.